Hey everybody, Funky Maclunkey here, and today I'm going to talk about some things that I never thought I'd have to talk about in my videos, like trade wars and tariffs and supply chains and global economics. I make toys and sell them out of my house. I shouldn't have to be talking about these things. Unfortunately, it is directly impacting me. And yesterday I got involved in an online conversation that really shed light on the fact that I feel like a lot of people just don't understand some very simple concepts about how the economics of this situation are going to affect creators and artists like myself, not just giant companies. So let's talk about it. So I haven't commented on this type of thing in my videos because frankly there are better places to get economics news and political news and all that stuff on the internet than from a guy who makes toys and sells them out of his house. However, yesterday there was a post made on Instagram by our good friend Yakface about an email that he received from the large American toy distributor Entertainment Earth. And in this email, Entertainment Earth told all of their affiliate partners, like Yakface, that because of the tariffs, they were going to have to raise prices on most of their items for the foreseeable future. They've got to do what they got to do. And this is a result of the tariffs that the United States has placed on goods coming in from China. Now, I am not an economist, so it's not my place to tell people how tariffs work. But I will say this. Anyone who thinks that tariffs are paid by the country sending the goods to America is simply misinformed. Tariffs are paid by the entity or the person or the company that imports the goods from another country. That means that if a distributor in the United States, like Entertainment Earth, brings things in from China, then they are paying the tariff. Entertainment Earth is. If Entertainment Earth is getting goods from a company like Hasbro is importing goods from China, Hasbro is paying the tariffs, and that cost gets passed on to the distributor, Entertainment Earth, or to the customer, us. Either way, whether the increase in cost is passed on to the consumer by a distributor like Entertainment Earth, or a direct seller like Hasbro, or by a retail store like Target, regardless, we end up getting hit with an increased bill as the consumer to make up for those lost dollars that the importer has to pay. On this post yesterday on Instagram, the comment section, forgive my language here, was a shit show. It was hundreds of people arguing about the wisdom of the tariffs, who's making money, who's profiting, who's getting screwed, all of that. And let me be clear that just because tariffs set by the United States are increasing prices of consumer goods does not mean that other things can't be contributing at the same time. Corporate greed is a legit thing, you guys. I know that because I've worked in giant corporations and I've watched leadership of these giant corporations do everything that they can to maximize their own income and also the income of their biggest shareholders. Okay, so just because tariffs and this trade war are raising consumer prices doesn't mean that there aren't other contributing factors, okay? So let's just get that out of the way. However, when Yakface, it's just funny saying that name, when Yakface posted this email yesterday and the comments went a little off the rails, it seemed to be a debate between people who understood how tariffs work and people who don't. In fact, the reason I got involved in it is because a follower of Yakface tagged Funky Maclunkey in a conversation. Let's take a look at what this person said. And I'm blacking out the name here because my intention here is not to shame anyone. I've just realized that because a lot of people don't understand this stuff, that I, as a small business owner, have an opportunity to communicate and maybe educate some people in my little sphere here who don't know how this works. Okay, so let's take a look at this comment that this guy made. Hell yes, I voted for this. Looks like I get to save some money this year instead of buying crap I don't need. Now I can support local artists and creators. I'm looking at you, Funky Maclunkey, High School Creations, Jason Grimm Art, and many more. If there's something I really want, then I'll happily pay the extra cost while this all gets worked out. I fully expect to pay a little more for items I've already purchased and are mid-production from companies like Ramen Toy or Odd Frog Entertainment. Do I need another Mando fig from Hasbro? Nope. Do I want a 1/12 muscle car or a friggin' battle tank? Hell yeah, and I'm going to pay for it. This is a short-term inconvenience for a long-term investment to make America better, and most of America is here for it. Okay, so while I appreciate, I mean, hey, thanks, man. Thanks for the shout out. Thanks for the support. I appreciate, you wanting to support me and other creators like me. But I think that maybe you don't understand how this type of thing is going to affect not only large corporations, but it's also going to affect small business owners like me. Okay, so in my comment, in my reply to that, I thanked this guy for his support, but I wanted to make it clear that I get, along with most other creators like me, so many of my supplies for 3D printing and any type of creation that I do. It all comes from China, guys. It all comes from China. If I could buy resins and filaments and 3D printers and paints and all the other things that I buy, if I could buy them from an American company, I would absolutely do it. But it's simply not made here. It's not a matter of me choosing to buy cheaper Chinese stuff. It's a matter of there is no, not to my knowledge, readily available UV resin manufactured in the United States. And unless we're willing to dramatically lower our labor standards, and unless we're able to find people willing to work for obscenely low wages, and we're willing to build the factories and the infrastructure that we need to create this stuff, unless all of that happens with a quickness, I'm going to have to go out of business or dramatically raise my prices. And I'm just a small-time toy maker. This applies to small businesses that rely on imported goods across all industries, okay? So all the things that I use in my shop, you know what? I'm not even going to describe it to you. Let's go on a tour. Let's go take a look at my workshop, okay? Come on, let's go. Before we go into my workshop, I want to point something out. You know what I did today? I actually bought a selfie stick. I hate selfie sticks, but I bought one so that I could do things specifically like this video. But hey, you want to know what? I just looked at the package of this newly bought selfie stick. I bought it at Target. Guess where it's manufactured? Yeah, China. We're off to a great start. Let's go. All right, let's go into the workshop. We're heading in. All right, let's take a look at my filaments here, guys. Let's see. This is light gray made by Elegoo. Any guesses where it's made? Oh, looky loo. Made in China. Let's take a look at, let's see, this is from Sun Lu. This is my black filament. Any guesses where it's made? Made in China. Okay. Maybe my resins will be made in America. Let's take a look. I've got some Elegoo resins here. What do you think, guys? Oh, made in China. Okay. Surely though, the printers that I use are made in America, right? Surely these would be made in America, right? No, what? Made in China. Uh-oh. All right, well, let's see. Okay, what about these gloves? I have to wear nitrile gloves all the time. Let's see. All right, okay, product of Thailand. Okay, well, my gloves are from Thailand, so I guess I'll be paying a slightly smaller tariff on that. So essentially, everything that I use, everything that is in this cabinet, the printers, the resin, over here, this printer, it's all made in China, guys. All made in China. Guys, look, I need you to understand something. I'm an American. I like buying American-made goods. I make stuff here in America. I like to support small businesses. I will always support small businesses over giant corporations. I will always support workers over billionaires. I am very pro-worker, pro-American, pro-industry. I'm running a small business. I would like to see this small business succeed. But all you people out there who seem to think that people like me who stand up against these ridiculous tariffs are somehow anti-American, you are not making any sense, because that's simply not the way it works. Do I wish that all this manufacturing could be happening in America, giving Americans jobs and making us more self-reliant? Yeah, sure. But that's not the world we live in, guys. It's just not. That's just not reality. Factories and workers and infrastructure cannot pop up overnight to fill the gaps that this trade war is creating. Okay? If the government and the super rich people who are controlling it really wanted to improve American manufacturing and grow American industry, they would be investing in infrastructure. They would be investing in education. But these are things that they're pulling money back from every chance they get. Those are the things that would grow American industry and keep the smartest minds here working for us. But instead, they're raising costs across the board for small business owners and just everyday people like me. Okay? Please do me a favor. Don't get your economics advice from me. Don't let this be the way that you get educated on the way tariffs work and global trade works. You know, I'm going to put some links down here in the description. There's some great videos on YouTube that explain all of this very simply. And if you watch a video that is made by one of these financial institutions or made by PBS or something like that, and you say, oh, that's partisan, that's fake news, it's that. No. These are basic economic principles. And if you don't believe me, you can find any number of online courses, free and paid, that will educate you in macroeconomics, supply chain logistics, global economics, all of this, okay? I'm no expert, but I'm a small business owner here in America, and my costs are on the rise, and I'm going to have to make some difficult choices soon if this continues. In my life outside of making toys, I've been a corporate media executive for years and years for multinational entertainment companies, handling enormous budgets. I know how business works. I've never been a politician. I've never worked in government, but I have a political science degree, and I consider myself pretty well informed in these types of things. This doesn't qualify me to work in government or make any big decisions, but it does qualify me to speak to people like you about the work that I do and how I'm being impacted. It's a big deal. And there are small businesses like mine across the country are being impacted in similar ways. Okay, so I just wanted everybody to understand that. I'm going to keep my costs down as long as I can. I'm going to keep chugging. I've stocked up on inventory here for materials. I don't know how long it's going to last. Just yesterday, I tried to buy one of the types of resin that I buy from an American distributor of Chinese goods. So these items would normally be sitting here in the States, ready to be ordered by people like me for quick delivery. And they're sold out of stuff. They're sold out of stuff that they would normally have a lot of. And what's really funny is some of these websites where I can order this stuff, you can select what country you're in to see the availability of different products or what region you're in. So it's like US, the EU, UK, so on. And things will be in stock everywhere but the US. Pretty clear why that is, okay? Costs on replacement parts for the 3D printers that I have are going to go through the roof. All of this stuff is. So maybe I'll keep making toys, maybe I won't. I don't know. Anyway, let's hope for the best, you guys. And until next time, stay funky, everybody.